Spiderweb's still on the wall.
That guy's still wearing a bathrobe.
Is that a beanbag chair? Is that? Wait, that's a papasan, right?
If I knew what a papasan was.
You know those big chairs that look like a bowl?
Yeah, and that is actually, it looks like purple felt.
I think it's a papasan chair. I'm curious what it is. Tweet at me what you think, what kind of chair that is.
Bold moves from the bold dudes over at Wooster.
Who let that horse play Hearthstone? Ohio State, once again, we're seeing MechMage the opener, and we've seen no handlock today either, a deck that's been in almost every single lineup so far. Instead, we're seeing our second zoo deck of the day. These aggressive decks have been coming out in droves since Grim Patron isn't here to shut down those strategies anymore.
We've come full circle. Think back to many, many months ago. I'm thinking around May, maybe even earlier, April, where Zoo deck was starting to get popular again because of its strengths against MechMage.
Yeah,
it
that's
trades
true.
up early. It has very strong board control tools early game with a lot of it like eggs and abuse to sergeants, things like that. So, but you know, if the MechMage can get rolling, it can be pretty rough. But this is this is bringing us back.
You can see Ohio State contemplate about their turns. I think they're happy to see double Knife Juggler start, though. They have both of those checked, and they're the ones with a bigger minion each time. Now, the problem with this is if they trade in that mech, they no longer have access to the Goblin Blast Mage activations, but they're the ones with the big bodies on the board right now.
Yeah.
You don't leave around Knife Juggler. I have been here before. I have disrespected the Knife Juggler at times. You take what the game gives you, because the game giveth and the game taketh away. And if you don't take right now, you give the game an inch, it'll take a mile.
Yeah. Wow, I'm scared of the game.
That guy can have deadly accuracy with those knives at times. Except for when your opponent's at 1, they have an 8-1 Alexstrasza, they have an 8-1 Ragnaros, and a 3-5 Sludge Belcher. Then every knife's hitting the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah. He's wearing a horse mask, man.
TJ Smoot's staring at it the whole time right now. He has yet to look away from the horse mask, I think.
That guy last week was wearing an Eagle Scout uniform. I thought he was actually an Eagle Scout, which could still be a possibility, but it might have just been a costume. Because now I'm not even sure if
he's gauging
a horse or not.
Here's the thing, he's gauging the reaction of Twitch right now. And whichever costume gets the best reaction, that's what he's going as for Halloween. He's got a sweet party coming up, I know it.
All right, well, that's a good plan.
So they leave the Knife Juggler on board, and it's very unlikely they're going to get punished for it in this situation. But man, is that bold.
Yeah.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
I mean, I think that you're trying to dissuade them from trading into that mech warper. Maybe if that had gone into Tinkertown, they would have traded into Tinkertown instead, which would have gave them that Goblin Blast Mage activation. So,
yep, even Mad Scientist in here, so they are running the Mirror Entity package. We've seen a lot of people kind of going more towards, a more Mana Worm, Unstable Portal, Flamewaker build. They're sticking strictly to their efficiency here. And so this attack, to me, tells me they want to use Mad Scientist and pick off this 1-1. Zoo is one of those decks where, you haven't been playing against it a lot lately, but it's sticking in everyone's mind still who's had a lot of experience with this. If you leave around their minions, they can buff them up so often with, Abusive Sergeant, Power Overwhelming. They couple those with Void Terrors. Suddenly you look at some pretty scary turns. But Big Game Hunter even comes to their hand, and that's the full Monty on Implosion right now.
Sports!
That horse has hands!
Oh, God! It's Flannel Guy under there.
So yeah, the full 4 roll on Implosion is a dangerous prospect to face off against. Ohio State's going to have to be careful about how they play this one. If they had drawn a Clockwork Gnome, you would have seen this turn go lightning fast, but they drew a Mech Warper instead. So the question here is, should they even play the Mech Warper this turn? On turn 6, they have a guaranteed activation of that Goblin Blast Mage. Yeah. If they risk that Mech Warper, there's a chance it's not sticking around till next turn. So they have to think out how the next couple turns are going to look. I would say with 2 Goblin Blast Mages in their hand, they're thinking about the prospect of just playing one of them right now.
Yeah.
Foregoing the ability on it just to get a 5-4 out and hope to start pushing some damage in.
Yeah, it feels like just getting that 5-4 out feels like the better option here. Because they still have that Mech Warper second Goblin Blast Mage next turn.
Yeah.
As a combination, so.
Do they use the Rusty Horn? They're going to hang on to it for a later turn. But even in this spot, Wooster, they have the option to Abusive Sergeant their opponent's 5-4 and then big game hunter it.
It's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, and so if they're going to do that, I imagine the first thing they're going to do...
Oh, well, they can't do it anymore.
The first thing that I think they're going to do regardless is trade off against this Mad Scientist and try to take advantage of that. So the second thing they have their sight set on is the Abusive Sergeant into one of the 1/1s, and then use that to also trade up into the Goblin Blast Mage. If they hang on to the big game hunter, they still have Dr. Boom checked as well. So this is not a surprise to see them hang on to it and utilize this Abusive Sergeant in a different way. But so far, they've been playing their cards right. And they're the ones with a slight amount of card advantage and a slight amount of board position, but still both teams fighting for initiative.
Yeah, and they might get blown out here by this Mech Warper and Goblin Blast Mage combination. And then if you're Ohio State, you have to think about, hey, do we trade first, you know, to reduce the chance that this Goblin Blast Mage hits this Void Walker multiple times, and they do. Really great sequencing from them.
It also increases the chance that they kill the Void Walker. And again, we've stressed it multiple times. Leaving minions around, very dangerous against this. And Wooster, they pick up a Defender of Argus after their board has been wiped away. And with Mal'Ganis, Doomguard, Defender of Argus, Big Game Hunter, Power Overwhelming, they don't have an option. They got to play the Doomguard. Mal'Ganis is gone at this point. And they're pretty much down to the felt on cards. Ohio State, if they pick up a minion here.
Oh no, the sad esports. That's not esports.
Ohio State now is going to be able to take initiative of this board.
Yeah. But the thing is, Wooster does have more like longevity. They're drawing 2 cards a turn instead of 1. Granted, their hero power doesn't affect the board, but if they can get some high impact cards over the next couple turns, they might be able to turn around and put it in their favor. But then again, you have to think Mech Mage can sometimes just end the game very quickly if they get burn spells, and we already see a Fireball in hand.
Yeah, they're almost guaranteed to get 4 points of damage out of this Piloted Shredder. 4 points of face damage, that is. And if Wooster can't check that, it's going to keep coming. So Mirror Entity is going to help try to throw off Wooster's curve a little bit, provide a little bit of disruption. But Wooster's going to need some help on this board. And they can't play that Dr. Boom right now. They know that that's a Mirror Entity on the other side of the board. Mech Mage does not play secrets other than Mirror Entity. They do, but it's super rare. And so at this point, Wooster can almost guarantee that that is a Mirror Entity. And because of that, you're going to see them play weaker minions first to try to offset the advantage of that card being in play for Ohio State.
Yeah, but, I mean, Dark Iron Dwarf is not really a small creature, so...
It certainly isn't.
They're going to give 8 power over to Ohio State going into the next turn. That would put them at 14. Looking at that Fireball, all of a sudden, 8 health is what they have left.
So Ohio State now, their real decision here is should they Fireball or should they use the Piloted Shredder? And Wooster's decision right now is what should they write on their whiteboard next?
Having a little bit of issues.
So that they can make another statement for themselves.
Who gave that guy a whiteboard?
It was me.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
They're just like in the room next door.
Oh, jeez, what is he?
That horse is losing it.
All right.
So the decision's still there. Do they want to Fireball or do they want to use the front half of the Piloted Shredder? One of these has backfire potential immediately. The other one is kind of unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, protecting those creatures. Zoo Warlocks don't have a lot of comeback mechanics.
That's a pitiful draw at the moment. It's Dr. Boom, and you know, this is really the final hurrah for them. They're just going to hope that Ohio State doesn't have damage here.
2 damage is what they need. Tinkertown's not 2 damage.
Can provide 1.
But, again, Zoo Warlocks don't run heals either, most of the time.
And it's almost impossible, if not actually impossible, for them to deal 29 points of damage to this board position. And so Ohio State, they're just sending it upstairs, and they say, you know what, do something.
Keep in mind, the Mal'Ganis was discarded.
Yeah, so that's really their mechanism of defense. Now, the Defender of Argus can shut down some of these attacks, but the problem is they're under the clock of just that hero power.
They
have
pings.
Yeah, they have 2 turns to end the game. So Ohio State going to take a look at this and go, should we use any of these spare parts right now? Will this help us win the game, or should we just be hanging on to them?
Guy on the left's making his argument. Guy on the right's debating. Guy in the middle,
taking a drink.
Taking a drink.
He's utilizing his own spare parts.
He's like, I'm controlling the mouse, okay?
Hey, yeah, you got to convince me here.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Yep, I like the Rusty Horn here. Force your opponents to attack into this in an ineffective manner. Even make it a little bit more difficult to kill with that reversing switch. Those spare parts not providing a lot of utility at the moment. Wooster draws Soulfire.
Wow. Maybe a Fist of Draxus in this deck?
All right, so here we go. I mean, the game has not quite ended just yet. That Boombot is going to pop at the end of turn. It will die. But now that Mage Hero Power can target minions or heroes.
Brutal. And the bad thing about power overwhelming your Boombot is that you don't get the outcome till after the turn's over.
Yeah.
So,
I think this situation where it's Defender of Argus, and I think you have to start pushing damage because you literally have 2 turns in the game. So
yeah.
I would be stunned if this damage did not end up going in the face. The Soulfire will take out this Dark Iron Dwarf. They want as much resilience as they can get.
I don't think you even go for that Boombot.
Well, they're going to try to hedge their bet. I mean, maybe they do have a heal in here. You know, it's not impossible.
The way they're playing, that would indicate it. They do clear the board, but they're dead in 2 turns.
Well, now they're dead in 1
now
turn.
they're dead.
Sometimes you just rip Frost, but look at the relief on Ohio State. Hey, man, y'all have had this game pretty much locked up. They did 27 with nothing.
Yeah.
A little bit of overkill. Wooster, not too happy about that one. Ohio State takes game number 1 with their Mech Mage deck. Once again, we're seeing these aggressive openers really take control of the game. Despite the fact that Zoo, I think, has an advantage in this matchup, they had just too many turns of stumbling. And in the mid game, they had to use Doomguard to spot where they really would have loved to have something else available to them.